Hi. So the other day, I was thinking about how I would like to meet the love of my life when the time comes. And so the first situation I thought was at a coffee shop. I would be at the cash register portion, putting in my order, and then I would suddenly look back, lock eyes with the cute guy behind me, and we would just have eye contact and hit off and laugh and, get married, have kids, and live happily ever after. Or I was thinking maybe in public transport when I ride the P2P bus, the guy beside me, kind of cute, suddenly maybe brushes his arm against mine, and then we would like slow motion just look into each other's eyes, hit off, get married, have kids, and live happily ever after. Or maybe I could be at the gym about to use some machine or weight or something, but then there was actually a guy before me who was already using it, but he just kind of quickly went to get a drink of water, and then he comes back, sees me, trying to lift them weights, and then he'd be like, "Oh, miss, I was using that, but it's fine, you can go ahead." And I would just, laugh, and we would lock eyes, we would hit off, get married, have kids. And I think that all those situations, they can happen in my life. But then I was thinking about how I would actually react when a stranger comes up to me and starts making eye contact with me and then, brushing my arm and stuff like that. And if I would actually like it, or I don't know. So I was thinking of real life situations and experiences that I've had before with strangers, or like encounters with strangers, and how I felt. So the first scenario is in public transport. I was still studying and I was taking the LRT2. I was on my phone. I don't really recommend you using your phone when you're in transit, I guess, but I was on my phone. And I wasn't holding on the handrail or anything in the LRT. So I was kind of wobbling when it was going, and I was like, I would kind of do that sometimes because I wasn't super focused. LRT2 is never that crowded, so there was a guy behind me a couple steps away, and he was on the phone talking businessy and something. And then whenever I would kind of wobble, his arm would reach out and then he would try to steady me with his hand. Well, not like super grab, but then it was there. It was like a soft touch. And so for me, it wasn't that creepy because I guess it's human nature for you to just want to help someone and reach out. Okay, fine. I found it a bit creepy because personal space. But then when it was time for me to get off, it was also his stop actually. And when I was about to go down the escalator, he stops me. Like he goes right in front of me and he's like, "Hi, miss." And he had like a very nervous voice to him, and he was like, "Do you want to get coffee someday?" And then I'm like, "What? Coffee?" Like in public transport, again, I have my guard up, so this encounter, I don't really speak to people when I'm commuting, and I was just like, no, and then I ran away. I just went down the escalator and I never looked back. That's one experience with a stranger. I guess I just felt a bit creeped out, but then, he could have been the love of my life, and that could have been the way we met, Another time that I had a stranger encounter, I was in the coffee shop. Again, I was still studying, so I probably had more stuff to offer when I was still studying because now I don't get any. Just kidding. But I was studying. It was a few hours before my accounting exam, so I was studying by myself. I was in the zone. It was finals or midterm season, so there were no tables available. If everything was crowded, so I think I had 2 tables with me, like a 4-piece, but I was alone. So there was a guy who went up to me and was like, "Oh, can we share?" And I was like, "Okay." And then he just sits there, and for the most part we didn't really acknowledge each other, we didn't really talk. But then he did offer me free Wi-Fi if I wanted. And then there was one time he got up, he was gonna get water, and he asked me if I wanted water, and I was like, okay. Maybe not the best thing to do when there's a stranger involved, but okay, I did it and I'm still alive, but okay, don't do that. So I was taking a break since, it was almost test time, and I didn't want to overwork my brain. And then we started talking, so we kind of got to know each other, and we were just talking about school and stuff like that. And then it was almost test time for me, so I was gonna leave. So before I left, he asked for my number, and I'm just the type of person who I don't know how to say no, and I don't really know how to, in situations like that, I just don't want it to be awkward, so I did give him my number. And then I was like, okay, bye. And then I left, and then after like a few minutes, he did text me, and it was actually a pretty sweet text. He was like, "Good luck on your test," and I didn't reply, and I didn't really do anything. I was just like, "Oh, that's nice," and then it was done. But if I replied, you know, you never know, he might have been the love of my life. I just didn't give it a chance. So that was like a cute story. The last story I have, for all of you guys who are either going to college or going out to parties, like I don't party at all, but the only time that I did go to a party, it wasn't the best experience. So I was like dancing, and you guys know how I dance, diba? I dance very weirdly and very big, and I was with two of my friends. I was with Jewel and Annalyn. So we were dancing, having fun, and then suddenly like a guy comes up, and he was like dancing. He's like, "Hi, do you want to dance? Like it's JS prom." And I was like, no, why? And he looked a bit older, so I was like, no, I'm still in school. Like, why are you here? And then I looked back to see if Jewel and Annalyn could like help me out in this situation because I'm trying to drive this guy away. But then they were nowhere to be found, guys. Like, why? They left me. You know why? Because they thought that I knew that guy and that we were having a nice conversation. But then I just ran away. I was like, no, thank you. And then I just ran. I don't recommend doing that if you're a guy. I don't know. I wasn't into it. But then, you know, maybe he was still love of my life. Like, I hope he wasn't, because that wasn't a very nice way to meet someone. So those are my encounters and I guess little stories about meeting strangers or meeting guys or having those encounters. So I would like to hear from you guys. Are you like me when there's like a random guy coming up, you just literally just freeze and find it kind of creepy because I don't know, that's just how I feel? Or are you someone who's just very friendly and very open to things like that and would say yes if someone asks you to dance with them like it's JS prom, or say yes to a cup of coffee? Honestly speaking, I feel like it has a lot to do with whether or not the guy is your type or not. And in those situations, they weren't really my type. I sound mean, but it's reality, and not everyone types me, so I don't type everyone back. Okay, I don't really know like the proper way to put that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope it was entertaining and fun for you to watch. This video was from my heart to yours. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!